Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors Podcast, your trusted source for outdoor information and entertainment. The Greenway Outdoors is also an internationally syndicated TV show and conservation advocate aimed at bringing millennials and Generation Z into the outdoors. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors. The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the third year in a row. And by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Hello and welcome to episode 66 of the Greenway Outdoors Podcast. My name is Kyle Green.
I'm AJ.
I'm Ryan.
And welcome to the Greenway Outdoors Video Weekly Podcast. And today, I am just getting back, I guess yesterday I just got back from Vegas. I was at UFC 264 cheering on Conor McGregor. Unfortunately, the night got ended short.
And we lost our bets.
We did lose our bets. And
Speak for yourself.
you did not bet for Poirier.
I did.
No, you did not.
I said last podcast I thought he was going to win.
You said last podcast no one should gamble online.
Oh. That's not true
He
I do it.
He did say Poirier.
I live for it. That's how I pay my bills.
It is.
What'd you say?
He did say Poirier was going to win.
I made $3,000.
No, you did not.
Idiots.
I didn't bet a single dollar. I should have, though, because I did think he was going to win. Not like that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine the bet, though? The odds? It would have been like plus 3,000 to bet that Conor would lose by breaking his leg.
I wish that would have been a thing. I wouldn't have done that, though.
No. I can't believe it, though. He, the whole thing, the fight was super interesting from the beginning. You know, I've seen a bunch of different breakdowns, and it seems to me like whatever the people, however they feel about Conor McGregor is how they break down the fight. So it's like very biased. Seeing it live and then seeing it, like the recap of it and everything like that. He looked great in the beginning. Lots of good kicks. Dustin landed a couple good punches. Conor ended up closing the distance on him because Dustin landed some good punches. And when he did, Dustin's shot went low. Conor got him in the guillotine, and he went for it. The problem was he got backed up to the fence. And then there at the event and then watching the recap, I got so upset because Conor had the guillotine locked in, which the likelihood of submitting someone with a guillotine goes up probably 50-60% if you're in the middle of the ring versus against the cage. But that being said, Dustin completely cheated. He hooked all of his toes in the fence and was using them as leverage to pull himself over. Completely illegal.
You can't do that?
No, you cannot use the fence like that. The ref.
Do they know?
The ref did nothing. He did nothing.
Yeah.
So that is what got him out of it, too. I mean, Conor had it sunk in. So, unfortunately, he was able to cheat in order to get out of the guillotine, gets out of the guillotine, and then Conor's on his back.
Which is crazy because had they been in the middle of the ring, I think that would have been it for the match.
Which is insane.
Insane. He wouldn't have a broken leg right now.
Right.
However,
Well, wasn't it broken before the match even started?
no.
So he came out today. Actually, today is Thursday, and you're listening to this. It's Friday at 5:30 or beyond. He came out in a video, and he did have fractures in this.
Beforehand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was.
Because I saw
fractured him.
Kavanaugh was saying that.
Yeah, that's when they were going in back and forth and stuff. But I think Kavanaugh, he said in his interview.
Kavanaugh is his coach.
Yeah, Kavanaugh had said, I don't know how much I can say about somebody's personal health records, but it came at Conor said, yeah, he goes, ask Dana White, ask my surgeon, ask everybody. The fractures were there. That didn't stop him from throwing that thing like a baseball bat, though.
I know, for real.
I know. I would have.
He's hoping for the best, I would assume.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't you the whole fight, though?
Yeah, I mean, when you go in, I think once you go in the fight, though, injuries don't matter. You're just trying to win at all costs. If your leg comes off, it comes off. But so
you can see it was just before it snapped. That last kick he threw, you can see where it got messed up.
Yeah, it hit the elbow, and you see it wrap around. There is a shot earlier in the fight where you can see him kick the inside of Dustin's knee, and when he does, you do see vibration in it when it's slowed down, and it does look
That's what's
slightly strange.
Annoying to me as a video profession. There's all these slow motion cameras all over the place. Every shot you see is a slow motion shot, but there's no perfect slow motion 120 frame shot of that leg breaking. Maybe it's on purpose.
Oh, you're talking about no? There is, but they're too far out. They're not in on it. You to be clear, you're right. They're not in tight on it whatsoever. But you do see him step back. But when it breaks,
Yeah.
it was just
His face, on
Yeah.
his face.
Yeah, it was rough. What amazed me though is like so he throws a punch, and in the punch you see him twist and move, and the leg's broken already. So he broke it.
Yeah.
He's still punching. It isn't till he steps back and he called it the wobbly leg, goes out from underneath him. It's crazy, but I know a lot of people too. If you say that you cheer for Conor McGregor right now, you're like hated. When it was everybody just.
Yeah, I see a lot of people turning on him online.
Well, it's the whole thing's really interesting. I'm going to break this down real quick just because I pay attention to just about anything he posts and does. Originally, the big fallout why everyone hates him now is because he was supposed to donate $500,000 from the last fight. He volunteered it to Dustin's charity. Now, he didn't. So then Dustin came out and called him out online about it. And Conor's big on his reputation as it is. And he gets enough bad raps in the news and stuff, and he lost his mind on it. He said, when you donate to nonprofits, the money often gets legs and walks away. My team asked you for a detailed usage of what you were going to do with the money in detail, which is if you donate to a nonprofit, the way it works is a 501c3. You donate, you can designate what the money goes to. It's the same reason why you see like a lot of public schools, like the library is named after someone. So that person went there and said, I want the library to be named after me, and I'll fund the entire library, and I want the money I'm giving you to be used for that library. So Conor was attempting to do the same thing by saying, I want to know what it's going to be used for. When Dustin's team didn't do that, Dustin, instead of doing it, called them out and said, you said you were going to do it, and you didn't, made him look bad. So then everybody attacked Conor. So then Conor went ahead and donated the $500,000 instead of to Dustin's charity, to another charity, the Boys and Girls Club, in the same town. So instead of giving it to him, he said, they'll tell me what they'll use it for. I'll give it to them. That didn't stop the news from only covering the fact that Conor didn't give it to Dustin.
Yeah.
So then Dustin was the hero and Conor was the villain. And then Conor was so upset about the ego, his ego, and as far as looking bad and people attacking his character, that then he's just started saying some crazy stuff. And then
started ruining his own character.
Yeah. And then Dustin's wife tried to message Conor on Instagram, and Conor took that as she was in his DMs, but in all reality, she probably said something pretty mean to him, nothing nice. But that's what did the whole thing. Then while we were there, the feel in the arena versus how it was covered was very different. So the arena was majority McGregor, I would say, probably 70%.
I would think.
So when the fight was over, Conor's hurt, everything like that, his leg, he stepped back on his leg. It wasn't Dustin's doing. People were like, oh, Dustin was winning. And then they're like, well, 2 referees had it as a 10-8. So, okay, so in fighting, in UFC and the way they score it in the 10-point system is basically a 10-9 means someone won the round, okay? A 10-8, if you could break it down, you could say a 10-8 round would be like the equivalent of the referee could have stopped it at some point that person was getting beaten so bad, but they didn't. So it's a 10-8 round. That's what a 10-8 round is. That's the best description of it. So they're like 2 referees had it a 10-8 round, but of course they did, because at the end of the fight, when Conor broke his leg and went to the ground, they could have stopped it. He was getting pummeled. All he did was cover up for 10 seconds, getting beaten up with a broken leg. Yes, the referee could have stopped it. Yes, you would score that at 10-8. So that doesn't mean anything, like, to me, as far as
No, not to me either.
whether he was winning the fight or not. The significant strikes, I think it was like 32 Dustin, 27 Conor, which tells you Conor was probably winning, because when you look at the ground and pound that took place at the end of the fight, at the end of the after he had broken his leg, 7 or 8 of those shots came then when the fight was already over, his leg was broken. So Conor had more significant strikes. He went for a guillotine. I think it was a dumb move, but nonetheless, looking at it, so then after the fight, Dustin's wife was standing in the middle of the ring giving him the finger, and then he was doing Conor's walk in front of Conor as if he won something, even though, Conor's leg broke.
This is a skewed.
Yeah.
This is a Conor McGregor.
But what
It
did
sounds like it.
I just, you know what I mean?
No,
He didn't break his leg.
No, he didn't. But Conor's sitting on ringside with a snap plate going, I'm going to show your family. And
No, that's not what he said.
dude.
So what he said
Dude, there's video proof of it.
I know, and I watched it. But yeah, he said when he was doing the walk and she was flipping off, he goes, I'll get you in your sleep. That's what Conor said. The other thing is, I cannot believe Joe Rogan put a microphone in front of him when he's sitting. I mean, I know he called for it, but imagine the adrenaline rush and the hormones dumping into your body when your whole leg is snapped off and the pain you're going through.
Yeah.
And then you're embarrassed over the guy who made you look bad in the news. Then, you know, on top of that, you sitting there with a broken leg. You're out for 2 years probably, if you can come back.
Oh, man.
And on top of that, he's doing your walk in front of you, and his wife's flipping you off, and your leg snapped, and you lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's fair.
I understand the frustration. I used to wrestle. I know the frustration of losing when you work so hard and all that good stuff.
You wrestled all the way through high school, right?
Most of the way, and in middle school. But then whatever. Coach sucked. But Conor was sitting there saying some messed up stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, like he did say he was gonna kill them in their sleep.
He said, "I'll get you in your sleep." Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
With a gun.
Yeah.
So you can't just say he's innocent. Like
Right.
he was sitting there like, oh, it's
I wouldn't want to say that was a good thing to say by any stretch, or that I'm defending that. I'm just saying that if I was in a situation where my leg broke,
I agree.
someone was doing my walk in front of me,
Incredibly.
his wife's giving him the finger, and everyone's making you out to be the bad guy in the lead up when this guy made you look bad, when you literally donated to another charity because you didn't want to give it to one that wasn't going to use it properly, all those different things. So
I think so too. But
it was uncomfortable.
by protecting his character, though, he ruined his character. And
Yeah.
I Conor McGregor was always my fighter,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
it's something even for me, it's switching a little bit where I could like the way Dustin carried himself throughout that whole last fight, press conferences and all. It made me like him more.
I felt like it was fake.
Regardless of whether it's fake or not, he did
Yeah.
better.
I didn't like the the whole charity thing. Like, you know, your company doesn't put together a outline of what you're going to do with the money. So then you go online and do that, and then you get to be the good guy.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I mean, yeah. I don't like it either, but it's part of the game.
Yeah.
He gets another fight out of it and wins millions. Why wouldn't you say something? Put out a tweet.
It did work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they fought again. I mean, so, yeah, that conversation is probably, if you go on YouTube, what you're going to see everywhere in the world right now.
Yeah.
Is that debate and that conversation.
That's true.
It was when he was doing Conor's strut and all those different things, and then he was calling him a dirtbag and all those different things, the arena did not respond well to it. But then you go home and it was like, well, I was there, but the news coverage on it is completely different than the people
Yeah.
that were there, you know?
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
And it was 117 degrees outside.
At what point? Because after Conor snapped his leg, there was a lot of people. You could see on the cameras a lot of people walking out. At what point did you guys leave?
Yeah. Did you see him go off on the stretcher?
No, we didn't see him go off on the stretcher because I thought I was trying to be smart. You figure you got 25,000 people all getting Ubers at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
How many Ubers are going to be able to come there? 200? You know, so we tried to leave pretty quick. I did hear him talk, you know, when Joe Rogan interviewed him, and then I was like, all right, let's go. But we had already ordered the Uber at that point.
Yeah.
So you know how it counts down, like when they're coming to
Yeah.
you? So that's when we left, yeah. So that was the fight. It is what it is. You know, the other thing was, too, is it was just kind of, to see someone's leg broken like that and in that kind of pain, you just don't, it's not fun. If Dustin would have broke his leg, if anyone in the world breaks their leg like that, it's like you just feel
I don't
so
know.
bad for him.
I feel like if I'm in your position and I'm pumped for one specific thing, if that person dies, I'm pumped.
Okay. Gladiator.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's part of the energy. You know,
I guess. I don't know.
can't hurt feelings out there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, I felt bad his leg broke. But yeah, so, and it was a gruesome injury. Absolutely gruesome. But
So aside from that, what else about Vegas? I've never been.
oh, okay. Yeah, so I hadn't either. This was my first time. I would equate it to, one thing I noticed was there's 1 million kids there. I thought Vegas was only adults. I would argue that it was 40% of the population there was little kids running around the casinos, which I also thought was illegal. They were everywhere.
They
Kids
were in the casinos?
everywhere. Kids were everywhere. That was a kid-friendly Vegas, the place for kids. I swear to you, it was. I've never seen it. I thought it was. I don't know.
The casino thing that's always been like a 21 or older, and they're strict on it. But they were just like, yeah, let them.
There's
through.
kids everywhere. I saw people getting yelled at for having their kids. But there was kids everywhere. Everywhere we went, there was kids.
Do you think Vegas is like a place kind of like Myrtle Beach where it's like a cheaper vacation spot where families can go?
I feel like it's not cheap.
No.
I feel like it's very expensive. Yeah, so no.
I don't get it.
We went to Wolfgang Puck or whatever it's called the one night.
Wolfgang. I love that name.
So we go there and we're sitting there, and I said to Elisa, I go, look at that table, that table, that table, and that. Every table around us, because it was like we were in the middle of a group, every one of them had kids.
That's so strange.
And the restaurant's in the middle of the casino.
Yeah.
Like,
How was
the
that?
food was unbelievable.
Really?
Everywhere.
How long was the wait for the food?
Yeah.
Because they say typically for a good meal you should be waiting like 30 to 40 minutes.
I started to get frustrated at Wolfgang Puck because it was an hour.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And like we were like, this is wasting time. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Should be doing so much. Could have stayed in the pool longer.
Didn't you go to like a candy store or sugar?
Yeah, we went
sugar
to
something.
The Sugar Factory. So I had heard about the Sugar Factory. I don't drink alcohol, never done drugs or anything like that. So I was excited about the Sugar Factory because they have,
Sugar is his drug.
yeah, they have
Yeah, there you go.
all these big advertisements and stuff of all these celebrities that have been there, and they had a drink menu that was like 50 different drinks that were all like these fancy things with foam and sparklers and this and that, big fishbowl looking things, and they're non-alcoholic, and you can get all these crazy flavors. So I wanted the Bruno Mars, which is a watermelon pina colada virgin, and I thought that sounded awesome. And we go there, and they're out of everything. So the amount of things you could choose from were not there. The place was disgusting. It was one of the only places in Vegas that didn't have good operating air conditioning. It's 117 degrees outside. It was probably 85 to 89 in there, which is warm. We're there at 11 p.m. Kids everywhere. 11 p.m. at night, just kids, mostly kids, and everyone's just screaming, and the music's super loud. And it took us 40 minutes, even though we had reservations, just to get a waiter.
Jeez.
And then they made the drinks, and I got this. And I am not one to complain about anything when it comes to. I hate people that go to movies and say they don't like them. How could you not like it at all? There's very few movies that I'm like, this is awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm never that guy. Restaurant, same thing. Dude, this was terrible. I got this. They didn't have the drink I want in stock, so I got the blue one, kind of for you, AJ. It was supposed to be like similar to ocean water.
Mm-hmm.
It was so sour, it was like drinking a warhead.
Oh.
So I couldn't get myself to like even drink a lot of it.
It's all sour
Sounds
mix.
They're $39 drinks, by the way, a piece. And then Elisa got this peach something whatever, and it had like a weird bite to it, and aftertaste she hated hers, I hated mine. I was so irritated. I'm like trying to drink it. She's like, you look disgusted. I go, I am. This is really bad. It's so sour. And I like sour things.
Did you say anything to the wait? Do you think if you had
Dude,
said
that waiter, there would have been no chance to have a conversation with this poor man. He was getting berated by every patron in that place. Just poor guy. So
that sucks.
while it sucked, I felt worse for him.
Yeah.
So as popular as it is and how much people love it, I hated it. There's a place called Fat Tuesdays or Fatty Tuesdays or
Fat
something.
Tuesdays.
Fat Tuesdays. There was a place there.
Daiquiri place.
The people that we were talking to, they go, you got to go there instead. He goes, they got 1 million virgin drinks there, and they're way better than this. He goes, we thought this place was supposed to be good because all the celebrities go there.
Yeah.
It was god awful.
Oh,
Those
man.
celebrities
It's a
have to
trap
be
then.
getting paid.
For sure.
Well, they're getting taken in through the back entrance, getting the best drink made by their best employee,
yeah.
Yeah.
and the
And
janitor's
then,
making
and then making up their own drink to go on the menu.
the janitor's making Kyle's drink. you
Yeah.
know.
With spit. So that stunk. But
I want to circle back to Wolfgang's,
okay.
the steak.
No, that wasn't there. So we went to another restaurant for my birthday dinner.
So what'd you get at Wolfgang's then?
There I'm a little embarrassed now. You put me on the spot, but they had a
Chicken
a
tenders?
brisket burger, but then I couldn't decide if I wanted that or pizza. So she got salmon, and we split a pizza, and I got the burger, and we split the pizza.
How was it?
Amazing.
It was just like
Yeah,
just to
just
die for.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean
all the food with exception to I ate 15 meals over the course of 5 days, and every one of them was amazing except for that one.
Mm-hmm.
We ate at the Trump International a lot because that's the hotel we stayed in.
Yeah.
The food there was unbelievable. I mean, the breakfast especially there was just bonkers.
So where'd you get the steak?
So we went to a steakhouse. It's called STK. It's a very hip place. It's like purple lighting and everything's like super weird inside. The girls are dressed sexy or whatever, and then
What's sexy? Explain it to me.
I don't.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, like belly shirts and like leather skirts and high boots. I guess would be sexy. I don't know. I mean, Leopold sunglasses. You know.
Nice.
But yeah, so they were dressed up, and you go in there, and it's like I would equate the music to Abercrombie. Loud is all get out, you know, and like, you know, rap and stuff like that. So it's kind of a weird vibe. Super expensive, but I was able to get a 21-day dry aged porterhouse.
Wow.
Getting, you know, we talk about dry aging ducks all the time. Well, dry aging the porterhouse was incredible. They basically what they do is they put it in controlled temperature with controlled humidity that allows the steak to break down. So how dry?
Wow.
Yeah, the way dry aging works is essentially you've got it set at a temperature. I believe it's between 32 and 35 degrees, and you're sitting the meat attached to the bone. So when our bodies, when cows, when ducks, anything goes through rigor mortis, the muscle tightens up, right? So if you leave it on the bone, when that muscle tightens, the bone will hold it taut, so it'll actually tear itself up, you know, because it's trying to compress, but it's being held onto at each end, so it's shredding itself.
So it's like self-tenderizing.
Correct. And then the meat starts to rot, but it's a controlled rot. And then it's funny because people do, like, they say 18 to like 22 days for a steak is like what they'll give to customers, sometimes even less than that. And then after that, they've had them like 30 plus days, 40 plus days, but they get almost like very blue cheesy. They say it gets funky, you know, going through it. So that sweet spot is normally like 18 to 21 days, somewhere in there. The meat rots and breaks down, but because it doesn't have access to bacteria because of the controlled environment, you don't have the bacteria issue. The meat is just breaking down and rotting. Creates a dry, crusty shell on the outside that they have to cut off. So you do lose some meat doing it.
Okay.
But even with the meat loss, the inside then, the tenderization, when you're eating a steak, you don't realize it, but normally you're eating blood and you're tasting blood.
Yeah.
And that's with any animal, wild game, anything. And blood doesn't have that great of a flavor. So by releasing the blood, you're changing what you're eating, because as the meat rots, it releases the blood. So the blood drips out. Now you've got more of a sponge. So then you can when you go to cook it, you cut off the shell, you're able to add flavor to the meat differently.
Interesting.
Because it becomes almost like a sponge.
Which it's funny because you go to a lot of people and they go to steakhouses and they say, I want mine medium rare. I want it rare. It'll come and people say, wow, look, that's good. Look how much blood there is. Like as if that's a good thing when it's totally not.
Right.
You don't want that.
All that is a perception that they have based on whether it's been cooked a lot or
not.
So that's silly.
When you got to the restaurant, did you order from a menu, or is that what was served that night, no matter what?
Ordered from a menu.
Okay.
But there wasn't that many options, but that we ordered from a menu. You can see the steak here. I'll put up a picture, but it was unbelievable. So when we were eating it, it came with like the sauce that would be like equivalent to like a zip sauce, like very buttery. So I dipped the first bite in there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is good. It's like eating movie theater popcorn mixed with the best steak I've ever had. It's very different flavor. Very different flavor.
Movie theater popcorn?
That's how I would describe it. And then here's what I did though.
Okay.
I'm going to try it without the sauce though, because I'm obviously getting the movie theater popcorn flavor from the sauce. I take another bite. It wasn't the sauce. The movie theater popcorn butter flavor was coming from the meat.
Well, then
the
what was the sauce offering?
Somewhat, I barely tasted it. Okay. So then I never touched the sauce again. I just ate the steak as it was. It's like a 34-ounce steak or something.
Nice.
Elisa took some, but I hammered most of it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was ripping toots all day the next day. Yeah.
Ketchup in a place like that is illegal.
Well, I did put
Don't
ketchup
tell me
on.
You asked.
I did because they had.
You did.
I got tater tots that were filled with mashed potatoes. Freaking great.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about this place was for the green beans and the bread, they brought you out a sauce, and it was fish. What was the sauce that we used for catfish?
Fish oil.
But it wasn't fish oil.
No,
they call it like
no.
fish sauce or
I think
something.
it was fish sauce.
That was the base for the green beans and the butter for the bread. And I was like, nope, I'm out.
Did you taste it?
Yeah, it was awful.
Okay.
Elisa goes, no one likes fish flavoring. People
No.
like fish, but they don't like fish flavoring.
No.
Why are you doing this to people?
Yeah,
So
I don't know about that.
that was the only thing I didn't like. But
What was the place called?
STK. It's
STK.
like a 3-month waiting list, so you got to plan way ahead if you're going to go there. It's in
Interesting.
Caesars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Caesar wasn't there. He doesn't live there.
Oh, he
apparently.
doesn't?
He didn't stay there?
Nope.
Dang.
No, I know. Weird, right?
What?
You got
I know.
cheated.
But the steak was unbelievable.
It's funny to go back you mentioning the $39 virgin drink, which is just sounds insane to me. It
Yeah.
reminds me of my first time in Vegas, going there not knowing how it goes, and we go to the bars and I order 3 shots for 3 of us, and I'm thinking whatever, I'll got it, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, that'll be $65, and I'm just like, what? I only
Why?
ordered 3, and they're like, yeah, that's what it is. Oh, okay. Here, and that's normally $6-7 anywhere you go around town per.
Insane.
Like $20 for 3. And
That's
this is
insane.
$65 for 3.
It's unreal.
You'd have to imagine they're losing out on business.
No,
No.
You don't think so? People are that dedicated to this?
I gave my money over.
People just have the understanding. that
I
they're
would go
going to
sober.
Vegas.
I'd refuse to drink. I would find a way to like sneak a bottle into the place, which you probably couldn't. And be
I
kicked
think you
right
can
out.
actually, or no, you can take a bottle and then have it on your persons throughout the strip. You could probably sneak it in.
I mean, they sell. People are walking up and down the strip with alcohol everywhere.
But the trick is if you're gambling, you might get it for free. I don't know how true that is anymore. But
Oh, I did try gambling.
That is what it was.
I did
back
try
then.
gambling.
What'd you do?
I'm very good at it. Apparently, I played.
You're very
roulette.
good at gambling.
Yes.
That's a bad thing.
I played roulette. And she gave me $40, and she's like, "Oh, for your birthday, gamble this." And I was like, "Well, whatever I win, you can have." Like joking, think I wouldn't win anything. So they're explaining roulette to me, and they're like, "Okay, so you guess the number that this ball drops in this thing, and then it'll spin, and then whichever number it lands on, that's what we pick." And they're like, "Here's $40 and $2 chips, so it's like 20 chips. Put them on whatever number you think it is, and then you go from there." I was like, "Okay." So I start picking numbers out. I'm like, "Well, I pick my birthday, pick the age I'm turning, everything like that." Boom, I hit on the first one. So I put 2 chips on there. So it's $144 or something like that. Something like that. I won. I was like, "Oh, sweet." So then I put away the 100 and used the 40 again, this 40 again, and then I just kept doing that. And then I was like, "Well, tomorrow's my grandpa's birthday. Hit on that one." I was like, "Oh, there's zeros?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Can it land on that?" He goes, "Yeah, just like any other number." He goes, "But 0 hasn't been hit once today." I was like, "All right, I'll put some on that." That one hits. It was so funny too. There's 2 older
Nice.
Native American ladies that I became buddies with, and they were laughing so hard, and they were doing everything I was doing. So I won 6 straight in a row, and then all of a sudden I got this really weird feeling, and I was like, "I'm not gonna win again. I gotta stop," because I hit 6 times in a row, which apparently is unheard of.
It's unheard of.
So we're up a lot of money, and I'm like, I don't feel good about it. And she's like, "Oh, just put a couple more down." I was like, "All right." So we put like another $30 down or whatever on it, and I didn't hit. Nobody hit on that one. So the whole table was like, "He lost it. Let's leave." And then I quit and was
That's
done.
how
But,
it goes.
but I was way up.
Table gets hot, you walk away when it's
Kyle
done.
Zach Galifianakis and in The Hangover, just like staring at the board counting.
Yeah,
Although you can't really count
Yeah, it's
roulette.
dumb luck.
That's- Yeah.
yeah. But I just knew I was gonna win in some, and then it shut off, and I was like, I'm not gonna win anymore. I won't win another hand. We got to get out of here.
You know, it's speaking of UFC and Vegas and all that. Dana White is he's not allowed to go to most casinos in Vegas because he's so good at blackjack.
He's won it all.
Yeah, they're like, "You're not coming back," just so you know.
Jeez.
Yeah, like he'd walk out with insane amounts of money.
Really?
Yeah, you can look up videos of him talking about it. They won't let him in the
I
casinos.
can't imagine them being told like, "Yeah, you're too good, you're done."
That's literally what it is.
I believe it.
He robs them,
No
and
kidding.
they're like, "You're not coming back."
That's so funny.
Better not see you on the floor.
Yeah, basically.
Ryan, it's hard to take you serious when you're wearing sunglasses.
Yeah,
It's
and I've been waiting for you to address it, so I don't have to keep wearing sunglasses in a dark room.
Yeah, I don't want to look at you any longer.
I can't take it.
I wouldn't want to either.
So
They look good though.
Ryan's
At least they
wearing
look good.
our new Leupold sunglasses. So we just got a care package today from Leupold. We all got their new performance eyewear is incredible. Polarized glasses.
The very performance. I got punched in the face the other day, and not a mark on
not
me.
a scratch.
We just
no.
got the glasses today, so he's lying. But we got the glasses today, and it's just in time for our Alaska trip.
Yeah.
We leave for Alaska on Sunday, so we're gonna be fishing for King Salmon.
Cook-
Well,
yeah.
the King Salmon just went to catch and release only. Actually, they just announced it. Alaska did.
Oh.
So they just cut that season. So we're gonna be fishing for sockeye salmon mainly.
Oh. Okay.
Cool.
Which those are like the super red ones. Which I'm pretty excited to get my hands on one of those. And they're supposed to be. I mean, when you go to a restaurant and get sockeye salmon, you're getting good stuff.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I'm
I'm
pumped.
excited
to
to try that fresh because I'm not a huge fan of salmon at all.
Okay.
I love seafood, but salmon for me is just like
I saw the price for trout per pound at the grocery store, and I was like, well, I have a plethora of this here.
At home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
all right, I'm taking these off.
Do it.
Do it. I was laughing that you wore sunglasses inside this long. There's two kind of people that wear sunglasses inside.
Blind people.
Cool people and you. No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, you were looking very
Blind
Stevie
people?
Wonder.
You wouldn't believe how bright it feels in this room right now.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
No, those are sweet though. I'm pumped about them. They're really durable. I like how polarized they are. That's gonna help us seeing the fish in the water.
I'm
Be
excited
cool.
to put them to the test. We all got to get the bands that go around the back of your head, so when we're fishing, we don't look over the edge of the boat and go bloop into the water.
Yep.
Yeah, we should probably do that. But while I was gone in Vegas, you were on a trip yourself, right?
Yep.
Up in the UP.
Me and my girlfriend went to the UP and we did some sightseeing. Anyone who hasn't been to the UP, whether you live in Michigan or not, should
I've never been.
Really?
Nope.
I would recommend it to anybody who likes the outdoors to any degree. The UP is nothing like
Down here.
lower Michigan. You've got mountain ranges, not huge mountains, but big enough that you're like, that's impressive.
That's in Michigan?
Yeah, basically, endless amounts of waterfalls you can go see. You have
Really?
Oh yeah, all the lakes, the trails, everything you can do. The coolest thing we went and saw is called in more modern times. It's called the Mirror of Heaven,
Mm-hmm.
but originally it was named Kitch-iti-kipi, which is a spring in the middle of nowhere in the woods. It's like, I think like 20 miles west of Manistee, which is a small little town. And it's just this beautiful spring that's 40 feet deep and as clear as can be. And there's lake trout swimming around in the bottom. We'll throw up some pictures so you can see it. It is just like fascinating to look at. You just sit and stare. You can
That clear?
It incredibly clear. It's
In
like
person.
it's if the water's still, it's like looking through nothing.
You can't fish.
No, don't touch the water. You'd be
Really?
big.
Do they
doo-doo.
bottle it and let you drink it or anything?
No, no. You
None of
don't
that?
interact with it other than looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Why is it so clear?
so it is. It's just a giant spring. It pushes out 10,000 gallons of water per minute.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if you like look down into the water, it's a sandy bottom. You can. It's just constantly like. It looks like it's boiling almost down at the bottom, like the sand.
And then the stream goes off of it, or
Yeah. Well,
Is that how
it's
that-
more
is
of
that-
like a river, and
Oh,
it goes
okay.
out into Indian Lake.
are you allowed to fish the river?
I don't know about the river.
Let me
I-
fish.
I don't know I'm sure like once you get out to the lake, you'd be able to fish because how could you not? I don't
Right.
know at what point Kitch-iti-kipi stops.
Probably a clean lake.
I don't know. If you look on a map, you can see where. So I would guess that from the spring to the lake, it's maybe a mile long, and where the spring comes out into the lake, you can see where it pushes all the sand out into the
Oh,
lake.
yeah.
It's super interesting looking at it.
From
But-
the top of the aerial view.
But the lake is not super blue. It's pretty brown.
okay.
Like it's a dark lake.
That's probably because it's a river. You figure churning and pushing.
It's not long though. It's only there because of the spring.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's not like it has a lot of flow. And
Did you go to the lake at all?
No.
How big is the lake?
It's massive.
Okay.
It's a huge lake. Not like Lake Michigan or anything like that. But it's for a lake it's big.
Yeah.
So on the hand, where were you?
So you have the peninsula that comes down like this. The peninsula comes down. We're like it's pretty central
Okay.
in the UP. If you look up Manistee, it's right, or Indian Lake, it's right there. It's just west of Indian Lake. It was
Underrated territory.
completely.
What was it like seeing you were on that little trolley thing?
Yeah, so you can go out onto the water, and they call it a ferry. It's a hand
I guess you
wheeled
could-
ferry
Yeah.
that's connected to a wire, and someone has to stand there and crank the wheel to move it across the water. And in the middle of the ferry, they call it a well, and it keeps the water still, so you can look down and it looks super clear. It's amazing, and you just watch these lake trout swim around, these massive lake trout.
Is it lake trout or?
Yeah, it's lake trout. I looked it up, and they just sit there and swim and enjoy their life and do whatever they do. What's funny is because the sand is always like bubbling and it doesn't get any rest, it goes up into the water and then settles down on top of the trout backs, and so they're like swimming around with like a pile of sand on their back.
That's sit on their back.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of minnows and stuff like that too, or
no? Those trout were the only things in there.
What are they eating then?
I guess they get fed.
Oh.
I guess the DNR go out there and feed them just to keep them there because they're interesting to look at. So I don't know if they're
for tourists.
I don't know. Yeah, kind of. But I don't think they were planted there.
Okay.
I think they just live there. They always have.
Yeah, there's
but,
native.
But now that they're keeping them, now that they're there, they're keeping them there because it's interesting and cool to look at.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff.
What made you go there?
I'd been there once before years ago.
Okay.
And we were.
Is it like a roadway stop, or you had been there before?
If you were driving through the area, it's a little bit off the beaten path. You have to know about it. It's kind of like a word of mouth thing.
Okay. That's cool.
Which makes it cool.
I agree.
But I would recommend it to anyone because you could like if you had a launcher, you'd sit and just watch those fish swim for hours.
Okay.
Because it is just beautiful there. And if you could go on a day that's not so busy, when a lot of people aren't there, it wasn't crazy, but there was more people than I would have liked.
Mm-hmm.
If you could go, you'd probably spend most of the day out there.
Go on a weekday.
Yeah, yeah. So it was interesting that a lumber company used to own this property way back in the day, like early 1900s, and a guy, John Belair, bought it from them for $10. It was the original 90 acres, and so he bought it from them
for $10.
For $10.
Reselling that's gotta be great.
Yeah. Well, he bought it with the purpose of turning it into a park because he just found it interesting. He was always taking people out there to come see it because he thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
But I guess before he had taken it over and started taking care of it, they were using it as like a kind of like a garbage dump. Like it was just like it was super gross and no one was really managing it. And then once John Belair took it, he cleaned it up and made it nice and just kind of left it alone for a while, and then naturally it cleaned itself up. And so it slowly started gaining traction and becoming touristy. Even in the early 1900s, people were like coming from all these different places to see it because it was amazing. And before the white man got there, the natives were there. Mm-hmm. And the legend was that a Native American chief was trying to show his love to a woman, and she said, if you really love me, I'll climb up in the tree and you'll be in your canoe and I'll jump from the tree and you'll catch me. And he ended up
missing.
He ended up drowning in the process.
Oh, really?
And so
sad story.
The Native American.
She must have been heavy.
I don't know. I don't think she ever did the jump. Well, I know she didn't make the jump. He ended up drowning, and the story was that the Native Americans dedicated this to him.
Okay.
Turns out John Belair had a poet friend, and they made the story up to get more people to go.
Okay.
Yeah, so
wicked smart, like Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Yeah, basically he made the whole thing up. And
what's their story?
I had 3 bears and
they have a little kid's book about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you were ever a kid, you would have known.
Yeah. I was too busy having fun.
Came out in too busy. Instead of doing your stupid sandwich.
Okay, you little alley rat.
Go back to your Veggie Tales, and I'll be skateboarding.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you even know what Veggie Tales are. I liked Veggie Tales. We used to watch it at church.
Yeah.
Trust isn't built in a day. It's built over time. The early hours and the late nights. It's built by doing the work and pushing the limits every day. Because the promises we make are the promises we were built to keep.
If you'd like to help support the Greenway Outdoors, please like and comment on this podcast and subscribe to all of our channels.
So another crazy thing that happened while I was gone was my dad got mauled.
Mauled?
Yeah. he nearly died.
Are you serious?
No, he didn't nearly die, but he did get bit by a dog twice. Some people, I can't go into detail about anything because it can.
And I will go into detail. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it can turn into a whole thing, and we don't want it to turn into a thing and all that. So
let's talk about it on our podcast. Go ahead.
yeah, right. So some people that we know had adopted this dog, a golden doodle.
Okay.
So nice dog. Everyone likes those. They're becoming more and more popular.
They're very popular. One next door.
And they adopted the dog. I think he's about a year old or something like that. And they're like, well, it'd be good to have a dog around because we want one. It's potty trained. We don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah. And adopting's cool.
Yeah, definitely. So my dad was talking to them about how to train it and what to do and how to make him a good dog, basically. Because he has we have the German short hairs, and he's pretty good at it. So he was going through the process with them, and it came up that the dog was put up for adoption because it was aggressive. And so my dad goes, okay, that's interesting.
I've heard of those breeds being that way.
Well, the poodles in general.
That's what I was just about to say. They're not notoriously nice dogs.
Very smart.
Smart dogs.
Yes.
They might be number one.
Poodles are some of the smartest dogs, yeah.
And
they use them for dove hunting.
I was going to say, they're
To retrieve doves, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They're bred to hunt.
They're the top 3 dogs for dove hunting. It looks bonkers seeing them out there, but they're great at it. Go ahead.
So anyhow, he was talking about the training. They bring up the fact that the dog is aggressive. So my dad's he wasn't pushing it too hard, but he was testing to see what is the aggression of this dog.
Which, I agree with that tactic.
So what he was doing was
he gets a broom.
Nothing like that. It was nothing that any average dog would have been upset by.
Yeah.
He started pulling on the collar a little bit, pulling it down like he was trying to get the dog to lay down, but not hard. It was just like it was a light pull that was maybe slightly uncomfortable. Dude, this dog flipped.
Really?
Yeah, just turned and just locked on his arm. And
did the thing?
No, he didn't do any of that. But my dad's like, okay, he's thinking about this. My dad carries, so he's like running through this. Like, if this gets like, where is this going?
Yeah.
So, dog starts to let go. He's like, cool, we're done. But it didn't let go. What it did was it did the let go to
get a better
readjust. And then at this point, he's like about to reach in his pocket for, like,
right.
Is there an audience for this?
That's
couple of kids.
That's the thing. Like,
that's a good question.
There was a kid there, and my dad's like, he couldn't do that.
Right.
You traumatize the kid, and it's not his dog. He was lightly provoking the dog to some degree.
He was trying to help them train it, though.
You got to bring it out,
right.
though.
You take that dog to the vet. You take that dog to get groomed. You take that dog anywhere. It's just going to a lightly pull on the collar is going to happen in a million scenarios.
Well, after
I wouldn't even call that provoking.
I wouldn't either with a normal dog,
right.
But that dog was just like, I'm above you. And with a normal dog who's upset, maybe they mouth you a little bit. Mm-hmm. Maybe they put their mouth on you. Nothing like that. That dog was like, I'm upset, and I'm going to hurt you, and I'm going to make sure I hurt you.
Right.
You can't have a dog like that, and especially with a kid around. A kid's going to be yanking and tugging a little
moment,
kid.
Yeah.
And my dad said after his arm's all bloody, he's like, I'm just glad it happened to me versus the kid.
Your dad probably going to have scarring for life.
Probably. So they ended up, this was on Jenna's birthday, my girlfriend's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So I wasn't there. I get the phone call that they're on the way to the ER. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, and then to the ER?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
like that.
Man. I have pictures.
Okay, put them on.
Yeah. So we'll show the pictures. They were pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good bites.
Now what?
But no, they did not do stitches. They didn't do stitches because they
didn't snitch.
Yes. They didn't want they wanted to let it ooze, let it clean itself out.
Puncture wounds?
It was definitely worth stitches though.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a bummer.
I can't disagree with it because kind of provoking that behavior out of it is how you correct it. You know, it's the behavior's got to come out, but that seems next level.
Well, it was even the way it sounds to me like they were just feeling out to see if there was that behavior.
That's exactly what it was. I'm not going to go into my opinions on this necessarily about what that dog's position should be. But I think everyone's kind of thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
That you can't have a dog around like that
right.
around. It's not going to change. It's
I think you give it a couple chances and then 3 strikes you're out type of thing.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. If it's not right, imagine this. The dog gets out of the house.
Yeah.
Which happened to your dog.
Mm-hmm.
Got out. Your dog's gotten out. Everybody's dog at some point has gotten out. What's the first thing people do when they try and grab a dog? Where do they grab him?
Collar.
Oh, yeah.
What happens?
To look for the tag.
Then what happens?
Yep.
This dog.
That's a good
Exactly.
point. That's a good
No,
point.
trust me. I have my opinions on it, especially with the little kid around. So they go to the ER and get all that sorted out.
Mm-hmm.
My dad's talking to the owners.
He's his attorney.
Yeah. No. Nothing like that. There's no There's no animosity. Everything is.
I wouldn't think so with your dad.
Yeah. No. He's like, I get it. I understand. I'm just glad it was
They're
me
freaking
versus
out.
the kid.
Mm-hmm.
They're like apologizing profusely, and my dad's like, "It's fine. I'm not upset with you. I'm under no circumstance am I upset with you." He's like, the guy's like, "If I can do anything, I just let me know." And my dad's like, "Well, there is this beer I like." So they get back from the ER, and there's 2 growlers on the porch full of the beer.
What's a growler?
It's 64 ounce.
Big bottle.
Big
glass
big bottle of
That's
beer.
what the meat eater guy, Steve Ranella, calls a poop. So
A growler. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's not what this was.
I was like,
So
it's like they crapped on his porch after all that.
That's funny.
So everything's fine. Obviously, these people know that they can't keep the dog, which is unfortunate. But
Somebody else determined that too. And you said give the dog a few chances, but someone lightly pulled on a collar and got bit. This dog's been given up because it's bit people. I think the chances are up.
Well, so I was talking to an old guy one time. I won't say who I know the old guy. I won't say who the old guy is, just for the sake.
We didn't ask.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah. No
well,
one asked you.
anyways. Anyways, when he was younger, when he was having his first kid years and years ago, I think the kid was a toddler. A dog started going after him, after the toddler. The old guy was obviously a lot younger. This is way back in the day.
Why would the dog be provoked to go after a toddler? What could a toddler
I don't
even
know.
do?
But think about it. A toddler's yanking and pulling on the hair to stand up, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So it could have been that sort of situation. The old guy runs back into the house, grabs the gun, comes out, shoots the dog.
Yeah.
There was no room for an animal to be like that back in the day. Now people are like, well, give it a chance. Give it a chance. Well, by the time you give it a chance for what? To make the mistake? That shouldn't be an opportunity.
Right. I remember Alex Garr when in that was the kid. This kid, if there's anyone ever been dealt crappy hands in life, it was Alex Garr. And I say was because unfortunately he also passed away from brain cancer. This kid had the worst luck. One of Jeffrey and I's best friends growing up. Nicest kid, would do anything for anyone. He was a bigger kid, always the funny one. And this poor kid, man, when we were Stephen Lurchenfeld's dog, it's like classic like elementary school names, like Stephen Lurchenfeld and Alex Garr. He was playing with Steve, and they were in the yard, and they were playing catch. And the dog, like, I think Alex caught the ball or something. The dog runs over, and instead of grabbing the ball, just mauls his face, bites right down on his face. It was a German Shepherd, just boof right on his face, tears his face up. The rest of his life, from 5th grade till he was, I think he passed away somewhere around the 25 mark, he had really bad scarring all over his face from the time he was a kid all the way up. And then he went to the doctors, and then they gave him an IV, and the doctor wasn't paying attention to the nurse or whoever gave him the IV, put it in the wrong thing, and it didn't go in a vein, so it swelled up his hand like the size of a basketball. And then for the rest of his life, it was permanently swollen.
Just the fluids. I remember you telling this
Yeah,
story.
and then he got brain cancer, and then they treated it, but then he got brain cancer again. He got another tumor.
Dealt a bad card.
This kid, nicer than would have done anything for anyone. I mean, it was one of those heartbreaking scenarios, you know.
Yeah.
Just nicest kid, but yeah, he got bit. I don't think I've ever been bit by a dog, not in a meaningful way, at least.
I have once when I was a kid.
Yeah.
How
It was my fault.
bad?
I got my thumb by a Rottweiler, but I was taking his food bowl.
Oh, well, that's still not a good reason.
Why were you taking his food bowl?
I was a kid, no stupid.
Oh.
See, the same thing.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
you
a-
should be able to grab a food
I
ball.
never think that under no circumstance should an animal be biting you out of anger like that.
Right.
They should be under the understanding that you're superior, no matter.
That's true.
And a lot of dogs are
I
that
agree.
way, thankfully. When we used to have a Chesapeake Bay Retriever that bit me once. I was a little kid. I don't even remember how. I must have been like 3 or 4, something like that. And I came in the house crying. It just bit me, just bit me. And my dad came out and he was ready to
Yeah.
murder this dog for biting me. But then he's like looking at the situation. Dogs, same thing. Dogs eating. There's no marks on my arm. There's slobber on my arm.
Mm-hmm.
What he thinks happened, because obviously I don't remember it. What he thinks happened was I was playing in the food while she was trying to eat, and what she kind of did was used her mouth
To move you.
to move me away, like kind of like.
And you're like,
Yeah, as a kid, it, like yeah, because there was no marks. It was just like my arm was wet from whatever.
yeah.
So that thankfully that was the worst of it. My sister did not have such a good experience.
Your sister got bit too. She got her arm turned to hamburger
It's in
meat.
your eyes' blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, you people are not dog people.
No, yeah. No, she was.
That was a wild one. You guys were up camping or whatever.
Yeah, we were up camping. A German Shorthair did it, and
Which is weird because you don't like. I know they're springy dogs, but normally people that own German Shorthairs have them so well trained for hunting that they're just like you wouldn't imagine that.
Yeah. I wasn't there. What I was doing was I was off somewhere else with a BB gun, and I was throwing a can up in the air trying to shoot it for whatever reason. It was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then we just start hearing screaming, so everyone goes like running towards it, and she's
Oh.
holding her arm, and it's all bloody, and like you can see like the fat sticky. My sister isn't fat, but there's fat in your arm,
Mm-hmm.
and you could
No,
see
she's literally perfect.
you could just see like she had been messed up
Ew.
pretty good. She did get stitches for that one. That one was pretty bad, and so that's how we spent our camping trip, was at the hospital while she went and got stitches.
Didn't your dad like train that dog and then deal with that one again or something though?
Yeah, kind of. Like this one, it just was kind of in its blood. It was not like a nice dog. It was definitely not as mean as this dog that bit my dad.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, but he wasn't
Just poorly trained.
What we think happened to the dog was that when it was younger, a dog was mean to him, so he got it in his head that like I have to be like aggressive, I have to be cold, like anybody, like a human who grows up in a rough area.
Abusive,
They're just a colder person. It's
Right.
almost as if that's what happened to the dog. So I don't know. It was not as aggressive as this golden doodle though.
Yeah. So what's the consensus now with the family?
Yeah, what are they gonna do?
I don't know.
Okay.
To me, there's one option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To most people, there's one option. I don't know if they're gonna try to give it back to the original owners and make them.
You guys
figure it
want
out.
to get bit again?
Yeah, it's tough. It's
I don't
purebred.
know what the situation was there. If anyone ever got bit,
It seems unlikely that they wouldn't have been.
I agree, but I don't know the story there. I
How
think
would you like to sleep with that in your bed though, knowing that if you roll over and accidentally bump his collar, you might rip your face off? No, thank you.
Yeah, no.
I'm not.
I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen to the dog.
Completely off topic, but you throwing stuff in the air and shooting it with a pellet gun reminds me. I bought us. Get ready for this. I bought us on Amazon. I bought us a salt gun. Do you know what that is?
I have no idea.
I have heard about. I have used it once, and they are fascinating.
It was a
gun.
It was $45, and it shoots like a shotgun would, a spray, but it shoots a spray of salt. And
They're awesome.
Novelty. I love it.
yeah, but they're mean.
Mhm.
I don't know whether it would hurt a human or not, but you can shoot. They're made to shoot flies. So we ever since I cleaned that Aoudad meat here and then accidentally forgot to I threw it away in our garbage can, but then we went on a trip.
Yeah, it'll just disappear.
We came
Yeah, it'll disappear all right.
That's true.
we came back and we hadn't taken out the trash before we left, and that
Dude.
those scraps had turned and flies had gotten in.
Oh my gosh.
That was the worst day of my life.
It was disgusting.
It was so bad.
Hundreds of thousands of flies.
What amazed me is AJ was the biggest man about the whole thing. Me and you almost literally, you were the closest to
I was
throwing up.
gagging.
That
I don't get sick by things too. But that hit me, and
It was so bad.
oh,
So we took it
I think we should show the video.
to dump it. I don't think we should do that to people, but here it is. So we took, that's us taking it to a dumpster to
It's so
to
bad.
get rid of the stuff. There were so many maggots. It was so disgusting. We brought it back, cleaned out the garbage can with soap and bleach and everything like that. But then even still, I feel like we just always had a lot of flies
Yeah.
around at our office. I don't know why. Just it's very naturey or whatever. But
Yeah.
so when they were getting in, it would frustrate me. So one of the things I wanted to do was get the salt gun so we can make fun out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I killed 5
It'll be
flies
fun.
already. So when you
Oh, you
guys,
have?
yeah, when you guys see it, it's already loaded, locked, loaded. But I was like, at first shooting, I was like nervous because one landed on like a light fixture, and I'm like, well, what happens if I shoot the light fixture?
Oh, that's
And
true.
I shot it in the fly. It's funny though because it's like when you picture hitting a fly, you're in the fly swatter mode where it dies immediately, right?
Yep.
Because
But
you're
with-
squishing it.
But with the salt gun, it is a lot like duck hunting where you shoot them, and they're like try to recover on their way down, or like take hits
Oh.
and this and that, or they go down slowly because they're like trying to stay up, or they're not completely dead. You can get gut shots, you can get wing
You get gut
shots.
shots.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You can get wing shots, you can get head shots, and the flies react that way. So it's almost like you're knocking them out of the air, and then you got to deal with them or whatever. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Do you think it'll hurt?
It hurts flies.
Do you think it would hurt a human? It didn't break the glass. Those light bulbs are not thick glass.
No, I was pretty far from it though.
Okay.
That didn't kill the fly either.
Do we test it?
On what?
A human.
A human? Jeff's not here.
For
Perfect.
for $5 and a can of liquid death.
Liquid death is water. $5 to try it. I'll shoot you
try
for
it.
$5.
I'll try it.
$5?
$5.
Okay. How far? Wait, how
and,
far?
And a liquid death.
You're like on the other side of the yard.
Yeah.
What's the distance we're trying this at? This is why all of our
Let's see how
parents are
far
like,
the
"Are you guys
camera
sure you
can-"
should have your own office? You guys you don't need any adults there with you."
Yeah, right.
This is what you do for a
I say
living.
Ryan
So-
stands there and you stand here.
I'd be okay with that. Cause
5 bones, baby.
all right,
Yeah,
do it.
I'm in. I am down.
I'll wear my. Thank goodness.
Ah.
This is how we'll end our podcast. So
Protocol.
thank you so much for tuning in to the Green Outdoors podcast. We are on every week, Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out our archive of episodes at thegreenoutdoors.com. In addition to that, we have podcast clips, we have Huntcast episodes, and our TV show on Sportsman Channel. We're also coming to a bunch of new networks very soon. But check that out. Check out our website if you'd like to see full episodes as well, thegreenoutdoors.com. Now let's go. AJ, you should be putting in $2.50 for this.
I don't carry cash.
Yeah, well,
Give me your card.
you can Venmo me $2.50 and or donate the water.
I'll get the liquid death.
All right, let's shoot him.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
Live now.
Not-
This reaction of.
Where do you want it, in the face?
No.
Teeth?
No.
You can't hit only your teeth, Brian.
Hit
Shoot
him in the
low.
shoulder.
Shoot low.
Well, you pulled your arm away from your body, so then you're getting hit with less.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Just.
I feel like it's salt. It's not gonna hurt.
I don't know.
I think you're overthinking
It's a
it.
gun from Halo.
Yeah.
I'm kind of freaked out. Back up more.
Yeah, go to the corner.
Okay. I mean, there's
Oh no, you're not in frame.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Right there.
Oh.
Yep, right there. Sorry.
All right. Why you put?
Dude. Just do it. Just
All right, ready?
Just do it. Do it.
Go.
Do it. Do it.
And
Shoot
in 3. This is why we need adults at our work.
I think you missed.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I need to be closer. I don't think
Lock
I'm
and
closer.
load.
I don't think it'll hurt.
Ow, that does not. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought, but it doesn't feel good.
No.
No.
Yeah, you kind of assist out. You can get $4.10.
I was expecting it to be a lot more.
Yeah. Sweet.